In February 2013, guests at a downtown Los Angeles hotel started complaining about the water: low pressure, a strange taste, a dark color. A maintenance worker climbed to the roof and opened one of the building's four water tanks. Inside, the body of a 21-year-old woman, floating. She had been in there for 19 days. Every guest in the hotel had been drinking, bathing, and brushing their teeth in that water the entire time. Her name was Elisa Lam, and the hotel she checked into has a body count that stretches back almost a century. The Cecil Hotel opened in 1924 in downtown Los Angeles, a few hundred rooms meant for business travelers and tourists. But its location, steps away from Skid Row, turned it into something else entirely. By mid century, the Cecil had become a magnet for violence, despair, and death. Over the decades, the building accumulated a staggering number of incidents: suicides, murders, unexplained deaths, enough to earn it a reputation as the deadliest hotel in America. And then there were the guests. Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, lived on the hotel's 14th floor in 1985 while he was actively killing people across Los Angeles. Guests reportedly saw him coming and going with blood-stained clothing. Nobody called the police. 6 years later, in 1991, Austrian serial killer Jack Unterweger checked into the Cecil while visiting LA as a journalist. During his stay, three women were murdered in the surrounding area. He was later convicted of those killings. Two serial killers, the same hotel, less than a decade apart. The Cecil didn't just attract tragedy, it seemed to collect it. Which brings us back to Elisa Lam. In January 2013, the 21-year-old student from Vancouver checked into the Cecil alone. She was traveling through California. She called her parents every day. On January 31st, she stopped calling. The only clue was the elevator footage. Security cameras captured Lam inside the hotel elevator, pressing every button, stepping in and out, peering into the hallway, hiding against the wall as if someone were standing just out of frame or something. The footage went viral. Millions of people watched it. Nobody could explain what she was reacting to. 3 weeks later came the water complaints, and then the maintenance worker on the roof, and then Elisa Lam, naked, floating in a tank, her clothes and watch and room key drifting in the water beside her. Her wallet and medication were still in the room. Her phone was never found. Her death was ruled an accidental drowning. The rooftop was restricted but accessible through unalarmed fire escapes. Internet rumors claimed the water tank hatch was impossibly heavy and sealed shut, but the worker who found her said it was already open. No one has ever fully explained the timeline of her final hours: how she got to the roof, how she got inside the tank, or what she was running from in the elevator. The Cecil has been rebranded since then. New name, new paint, but some buildings don't let go of what happened inside them. Now, February 24th, 1978, Yuba City, California. Five friends: Ted Weir, Jack Hewitt, Bill Sterling, Jack Madruga, and Gary Matthias pile into a 1969 Mercury Montego and drive 50 miles to Chico to watch a college basketball game. All five are part of a community program for adults with mild intellectual disabilities. They live independently, they hold jobs, they follow routines. They had their own basketball game the next morning, the Sacramento Special Olympics. Some of them laid out their uniforms the night before. They asked their parents to wake them up early, but they never came home. Their car was found days later abandoned in a snowbank on a remote mountain road, 70 miles in the wrong direction. The gas tank wasn't empty. The car wasn't damaged. Nothing was wrong with it. It started right up when hot wired, but the keys were missing. They just walked away into a blizzard. No coats, no supplies, No reason. Months later, searchers found a U.S. Forest Service trailer 20 miles further up the mountain road from the car. Inside, Ted Weir's body. He had survived for weeks. He had lost significant weight, he had grown a beard, he had wrapped himself in bedding trying to stay warm. The trailer had food, matches, and heating fuel. Most of it was untouched. The remains of two others, Jack Madruga and Bill Sterling, were found scattered in the woods, roughly 11 miles past the car, along the route toward the trailer. They had succumbed to the elements long before finding shelter. A fourth man, Jack Hewitt, was found just 2 miles from the trailer. The fifth man, Gary Matthias, was never found. Five men left a basketball game and drove into the mountains instead of going home. They abandoned a working car and walked into a frozen wilderness they had no reason to enter. One of them survived for weeks in a shelter full of supplies he barely used, and one of them simply vanished. No one has ever explained why. California doesn't just hide its darkness behind the sunshine, it buries it so deep you have to know where to look. Dark states, California. Colorado, we're coming.